Hello, and welcome to the second installment of Will Someone Please Cryogenically Freeze Us Until We Can Afford RGB RAM Again? In this series, we take a good long look at what the RAM market has been up to over the past months and tell it to stop it. Stop it right now, or you're not getting any dinner. Last month, we discovered that during the month of May, while there were some excruciatingly minor improvements in the RAM pricing department, it was, excruciatingly minor. We also discovered that other people with expensive lawyers and a thirst for vengeance were starting to get real sick of Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron's alleged price canoodling. So sick that they slapped them with the class action lawsuit. Not wanting to feel left out, China also got in on the action, vowing to investigate the possibility of said canoodling in their part of the world. All of that made us somewhat hopeful that prices would start to go down soon, faster than our enthusiasm for Fallout 76 when we found out that it would be like an online MMO-like thing, which is just dumb, gross. But what was June the soon that we were hoping for? Let's find out, because we got some hope emerging. Just like last time, we're going to enlist the help of PC Part Picker's price charts to see whether any of May's developments actually translated into better pricing on some of the most popular RAM kits on the market right now. So let's start with an 8GB 2x4 kit of Corsair's Vengeance LPX running at 3200 MHz. At the end of May, the kit was selling for as low as $109.99. Around the middle of June, that price jumped up to $119 before settling in at $116 by the end of the month. That's a 5.4% increase. So yeah, not exactly the most encouraging way to kick things off. Luckily, the numbers for 2133 MHz version of the exact same kit were a tad less depressing. The kit ended up at $97.98, went up to $99.98 during the middle of June, and finished off the month on a not so good $94.98. It's only a 3% decrease from the previous month, but cheaper is cheaper, yo. As for that RGB RAM we can't afford yet, or more specifically the 16GB 2x8GB kit of G.Skill's Trident Z RGB running at 3200 MHz, we still can't afford it. The kit sold for $252.88 at the end of May and strayed that way right through the end of June. Just like before though, the slower version of the same kit was significantly more promising. The same kit running at 2400 MHz dropped from May's $195.88 all the way down to $169.99 a month later. Huge 13% difference. While not as dramatic as that 13%, Corsair's Dominator Platinum 16GB 2400 MHz kit and Crusoe Ballistic Sport LT 32GB 2400 MHz kit also featured price reductions from May to the end of June. The former dropped from $224 to $216.32, a 3.4% drop, and the latter took a massive plunge, going from $322.74 all the way down to $321.93, a 0.25% reduction. Exciting stuff. But not as exciting as this G.Skill Trident Z 16GB 4000 MHz kit, staying the exact same price from May to June at $263.98. No, but seriously, the prices we looked at seem very promising. While we only really saw one kit's price drop dramatically, we did have that one that got more expensive. Overall, it seems things might actually starting to be looking up in the RAM market. Far too early to tell whether the downward trend seen during this time had anything to do with the lawsuits and investigations aimed at the bigwig memory producers, but we'd like to think there's a connection there. But we'll have to wait for the next update to see if any of this sticks. Luckily, something we don't have to wait for are tasty developments in the DRAM market, as June and the first few days of July had those pretty much covered. We got investigations, fines, bans, and disappointment. The first few DRAM related stories to come out of June weren't all that exciting. They were about a Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron acknowledging that Chinese regulatory peeps are indeed keeping an eye on them. All three companies confirmed that they're being investigated and claim to be cooperating with the investigators to the best of their ability. While none of the companies admitted that they were being investigated for possible price fixing, that's totally what's happening, but whatever. If this investigation concludes that the companies did participate in price fixing shenanigans, which they did probably, said companies might just get smacked hard where it hurts the most, their bottom line. Well, how hard are we talking about? According to the reports, about $800 million to $8 billion hard. That's right, because these fines are calculated on the company's sales in China during the suspected collusion period, these companies could face one of the largest fines we've ever heard of. And we might be pretty okay with that. Except for the fact that it could trickle down to consumers. That would be not so bueno, not cool, bro. It should also be mentioned that some believe that the regulatory visit to these companies might also be due to China wanting to access some A-grade DRAM tech. China is one of the biggest DRAM customers in the world and is actively trying to reduce its dependence on outside companies for the chips. Whatever the motives behind the investigation, we're glad it's happening, and if China does eventually become a major player in the DRAM market and it gives the other three companies some more competition, consumers will undoubtedly be the ones who take home the win, or not, they're all just going to get together and price collude in a giant heaping pile of price collusion instead of the small heaping pile. Speaking of taking the win though, Micron sure didn't after UMC, a rival company based in Taiwan, released a statement alleging a court temporarily banned Micron from selling certain chips in China. The company's stock took a quick 5.5% dive. There's more to the story than that, but since we highly doubt it'll affect us as consumers, we're just going to move on to more important, mildly saddening things because Micron sales are only affected by like 1%. It's not a big deal. So let's move on to something like a report from market researchers at DRAM Exchange claiming that RAM prices will keep going up. That's right, the researchers state that due to an expected increase in demand from servers, mobile device makers, as well as transitions to smaller manufacturing processes, we should see the average selling price of DRAM to increase marginally in the third quarter of this year. The researchers also believe that this will be followed by a fourth quarter of flat growth. That kind of kills our enthusiasm that RAM prices might go down in the coming months. That being said, the report could turn out to be wrong. There's no guarantee that things will play out the way the researchers suspect they will. The continued investigation of the three major DRAM wiggly woos could pressure them into putting their right feet forward in the future, alleviating the still infuriatingly high RAM prices while they're at it. As a whole though, June's RAM report was significantly more hopeful than May. We saw a not insignificant overall downward trend for prices, and it's good to know that if Samsung, Hynix, and Micron keep doing what they're doing, they could face monumental fines. It would have obviously been an even more hopeful report if DRAM Exchange didn't come in and spoil everybody's fun. They could have just said, hey boy, this is the price is going down. I would have preferred that. Of course, that's what I want out of like a major professional publication, is for them to talk to me like I'm a teenager. But still, even if we do see a minor price increase over the next few months, we highly doubt things will keep getting worse after that for too much longer, or at least that's what our optimistic sides of our brains are telling us. Anyways, let me know if you have been suffering from this RAM price stuff. Did you guys buy RAM in June or in the first half of July? I know this is our June report. We're a bit behind because of our editor being gone, but we'll get July out on time, I promise, okay? It's coming soon. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Please get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett, and this is the UFD Tech channel. I'll see your smiling faces again in the next video. Cheers. Ooh, hi, hey friends, hello and welcome to the second installment of Will Someone Please Cryogenically Freeze Us Until We Can't Afford RGB RAM again.